Hello students, I hope you all are doing well. Today we are going to study a topic that is direct and indirect speech. Okay, here we go. Okay, so before we may begin with this topic, we need to understand two things. The first question which comes into our mind, that is, what is direct speech? This is the first question which comes into our mind. What is direct speech? And the second question which comes into our mind, what is indirect speech? Okay, so we will understand both the things today before starting this topic, and then we will talk some rules and some of the examples. Now let's begin with this. We have an example over here. Let me write this example. Ram said to Sita, I am going to Janakpuri. Okay. Now, the moment when I talk about this example, this is a direct conversation. This is a direct conversation between Ram and Sita. Right? This is a direct conversation between Ram and Sita. And this is the statement. This is the sentence, or this is the statement said by Ram to Sita. Now, when we talk about direct conversation between two parties, that is known as direct speech. You can say a one-on-one conversation, or a direct conversation, or direct, personal communication between two parties, right? No third party involved. So that particular communication, that particular speech is known as direct speech. Okay. Now we have identified two things over here. Apart from direct speech and indirect speech, we need to identify two things. One is this part, Ram said to Sita. Now Ram over here is a subject, Sita is an object. Apart from this said to, this is verb, right? Now where we identify parties to the conversation, that part in direct speech is known as reporting verb. Okay. Now, where we identify the statement or sentence said by parties of the conversation, that is known as reported speech. Okay. Now let's move with this topic. Let me change the sentence into indirect speech. Now, Ram told Sita that he was going to Janakpuri. Okay. Now what we did over here, understand this. If listener of this conversation communicates this particular message, or sender of this communication says this sentence to a third party, or a third party listens this conversation and says to another one, that particular sentence or that particular statement will be known as indirect speech. Let's understand with another, like I need food, I'm feeling hungry. Okay. Now the same sentence. Now what your brother will say to someone, like let's take an example of your father. Now your brother will say she was feeling hungry, right? So the sentence was converted in the suitable language where the next person could understand. That particular thing is known as indirect speech, right? Now we have done some changes over here. We will highlight some of the changes. What changes we have done? We have done the first change, that is said to. The first change we have done, that is said to, and the said to is converted into told. Second change, what we have done, we have removed this comma and we have removed this inverted comma. This is the second change we have done. Apart from this, by removing these comma and inverted comma to join reporting verb and reported speech, we have used that. Okay, this is the third change we have done. Apart from this change, we have done a change related to pronoun. We have I as a subject, but the moment we convert it into indirect speech, this became he, or we converted into he. This is the fourth change, that is pronoun related change. Apart from this, we have made a change, that is this particular sentence is in present continuous tense. But the moment we change this sentence into indirect speech, you can see that now after converting this sentence into indirect speech, it was converted into past continuous tense, and we have changed into past continuous tense, you can say that, right? Okay, so let's move with this topic. Let's move forward. Okay, so the first thing which we are going to talk about, that is assertive sentences. Over here we will talk 5 sentences. The first which we are going to talk about, that is assertive sentences. The remaining 4 which we will discuss, that is interrogative, exclamatory, optative and imperative sentences. So we will talk remaining 4 in upcoming classes. Okay, now first of all, let's discuss rule number 1. Our rule number 1 is reporting verb related changes. Reporting verb related changes. Okay, so the only change which we do in reporting verb, I'll show you over here. Let's discuss this example. So what we did, we will not change the subject and object in reporting verb. The only thing which we will change, that is this part, verb part. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so if we get said in reporting verb, the said is converted into said. But if we get said to, this is changed into told. Okay, and these both the verbs are in past tense. Okay, now if we get says will be changed into says. But if we get says to, it will be changed in tells. Okay, if we have say as an example, it will be changed in say. But if we have say to, it will be changed in tell. And all the verbs, all 4 verbs are in present tense. Why we are writing this, you will get to know later on after finishing this thing. Okay, and if we get will or shall say, this will be changed in will or shall say. But if we find will or shall say to, it will be changed into will or shall tell. Okay. And we can easily identify that these verbs are in future tense. Okay. Now let's move forward with this. We need to write a note as well. So first of all, we will write the note and then we will understand with some of the examples. Okay. So let me write the note first. Okay, note number 1. Note number 1 says, if reporting verb is in the past tense. If reporting verb is in the past tense, we make tense related changes in the reported speech. Now you can see this. I'll show you an example. This note says if reporting verb is in the past tense, we make tense related changes in the reported speech. Now reporting verb in past tense, that means either we will find said or said to or told, right? So what happened in this example? Look at this example. Students, look at this example. The first example was Ram said to Sita, I am going to Janakpuri. Now here you can easily identify that the reporting verb is in past tense. Okay. Now when the reporting verb is in past tense, it says we can change the tense or we can make tense related changes in reported speech. Okay. So this present continuous tense is changed into past continuous tense. And it can be changed only when the reporting verb is in past tense. Okay. Let's understand note number 2 also. And then later we will discuss some more examples like this. Okay, those who are writing can easily write this. Okay. Now let me write note number 2. Let's see what note number 2 says. If reporting verb is in the present tense or future tense, we do not make tense related changes in reported speech. We do not make tense related changes in the reported speech. Okay. Now we will understand note number 2 with some of the examples over here. So if we find says to, say to, tell or tells, apart from this, will say, shall say, will say to, shall say to. If we find such, then in not change the tense of reported speech. Okay, let's see this. Let's understand this example first. Okay, here we go with an example number 1. This is the first example. Monica said to me. I am cooking food. Okay. Second example, we will discuss after this. Ram says to me, I am playing cricket. And third example, my mother will say to Ankit, they are beating the dog. Okay. Now let's discuss all three examples. What our rule says that if reporting verb is in past tense, we make tense related changes. So first we identify this. This said to, that means it is in past tense. Okay, let's change this first. Monica told me. Monica told me. Okay, comma and inverted comma removed, that we will discuss in rule number 2. Okay, and we will put that this thing we will discuss in rule number 3. I will be changed with Monica, so it is changed as she. Now we will discuss pronoun related changes in next rule. Okay, now the tense, it is present continuous tense and it will be converted into past continuous tense. So she was cooking food. Why did we change it? Because the reporting verb is in past tense. Let's assume if reporting verb is in present or future, what will happen with this present continuous tense? We will see this. Later on, we will discuss all the rules related to tense related changes, but we are just taking present continuous example right now. Now Ram says to, it will be converted in tells. So Ram tells me, comma inverted comma removed. To join RV and RS, we use that. Okay, I converted with Ram, so it became he. Okay. Now, the present continuous, in earlier example, over here you can see this in the first example, we change present continuous into past continuous. But here, we will not change present continuous into past continuous. Present continuous tense will remain same. Why? Because the reporting verb is in present tense. And our note number 2 says specifically that if reporting verb is in the present tense or future tense, do not make tense related changes. It specifically says, right? It specifically says reporting verb, if reporting verb is in the present tense or future tense, do not make tense related changes in the reported speech. So that's what we are doing. Look at this. Now we cannot put am over here because according to he we need to put is. Okay, but the sentence or tense is same. After changing present continuous in tense into indirect speech, it is again in present continuous tense. It is not changed into past continuous tense. Now, this example became he is playing cricket. Okay, let's move with the third example over here. I hope you have written it. The moment you are studying, you are watching this video, I request everyone to prepare notes in a fair notebook so that it can be helpful for you. Okay, now we will solve this example. My mother. Okay, now will say to will be converted into will tell. My mother will tell Ankit that they. Okay. Now, present continuous tense. Now we need to make tense related changes, but we will not make tense related changes. Why? Because reporting verb is in future tense. Reporting verb is in future tense. So we will not make tense related changes, and this present continuous tense will remain same. So here we go. They are beating the dog. Okay. We will talk and we will discuss another example as well. Okay, this is the last example. I hope you understood this. If you have any doubt, you can get back to us so that we can solve your queries, right? Okay. Purnima said to me. Purnima said to me, I am reading a novel. I'm reading a novel. Okay, let's change into indirect speech. Purnima, I hope you remember that said to will be changed to told. So Purnima told me. Okay, you have remembered that comma and inverted comma will be removed, and to join reporting verb and reported speech in assertive sentence we use that. Okay, so Purnima told me that I will be changed according to Purnima, so it became she. Okay, now we need to change that tense, and it will be changed because reporting verb is in past tense. Okay, so she was reading a novel. Okay, I hope you understood this rule number 1, which is uh, talking about pronoun related changes. Okay, if there is any doubt, please let me know so that we can solve your queries. Okay, now we are going to discuss rule number 2. Okay, rule number 2. What rule number 2 says? The moment when we convert direct speech into indirect speech, remove what we do, we remove commas, we remove comma and inverted commas. Now the question comes in our mind that do we remove all the commas and inverted commas? The answer is no. Let's discuss this example. Here is an example. Which comma and inverted comma we will remove, we will discuss in this example. Mayank said to Ankita. Mayank said to Ankita. They are playing hockey. Okay. So the moment we will change this into indirect speech, our first rule says said to will be converted into told. Okay. So Mayank told Ankita. Okay. Now to join reporting verb and reported speech, we use that. They were playing hockey. They were playing hockey. Okay. Now here we need to understand which comma and inverted comma we removed and we will remove. So this one, first one, right? And where we find the statement said by the parties to the conversation, only this comma and inverted comma we remove. Suppose there is a statement, I am eating dal comma bati and churma. Now the commas which are used inside the sentence, dal comma bati, right? So that particular comma will not be removed. Understood that? The comma which differentiate or which separate reporting verb and reported speech, that comma. Second, the inverted comma which explain the statement, only that comma and inverted comma is removed. I hope you understood this. Still, if you find any doubt, please let us know so that we can go ahead and solve your queries. Now, rule number 3. We will definitely make sure that related to this topic would be conducted so that there would be no doubt. Okay. Now, rule number 3 says to join a reporting verb and reported speech. To join reporting verb and reported speech, we use that. Okay, let's discuss this example. We have discussed some examples earlier also and we did the same, but okay, we are just talking a rule so that we can discuss an example as well. Okay. Akshita said to Brenda. Akshita said to Brenda, Monica is washing my clothes. Okay, let's change this sentence into indirect speech. Okay, Akshita. Okay, rule number 1 says said to will be converted into told. So Akshita told Brinda. Okay. Rule number 2 says comma and inverted comma will be removed. Okay. Rule number 3 says to join reporting verb and reported speech we use that. Okay. So this is what we followed. Okay. So Akshita, here we made a mistake. I'll remove this mistake. What I wrote the spelling wrong, so I will make it correct. Okay. Akshita told Brinda that Monica was washing. My will be changed according to Akshita, so her clothes. Okay.